Hello and welcome back to the Canadian Virtual Presidents Conference. My name is Marc Belaiche. I'm president of TorontoJobs.ca and also president of TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca. I want to thank you for being here today. Hopefully you've had an opportunity to check out some of the expo area with some of the products and services that can help you within your organization. Had a chance to maybe check out our networking area, speed networking. I've had a chance to meet a few people through there as well. And we've had some great sessions already as well. So really excited to be joined by a great set of panelists, a great set of presidents, hence the event. And we're gonna have a good discussion on a number of different topics. If you have any questions for anybody on the panel, feel free to post them in the event or in the stage area chat, and I will moderate them from here as well. So we're gonna start with Elizabeth Wu, president at Cybersecurity Auditors. Thanks very much for being here, Elizabeth. Welcome, and perhaps you can kick things off and just let us know a little bit about what you do, what your company is all about, and perhaps a little bit about yourself that people would not know about.
Oh, thanks, Marc. Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us on the panel. I am Elizabeth Wu. I'm the president of Cybersecurity Auditors. I've been an IT consultant for over 20 years, dealing with securing and stabilizing networks throughout the Toronto area. Cybersecurity Auditors is a virtual IT auditing company. What we do is we actively investigate the hidden security risks that are generally overlooked by the day-to-day activities of the IT department. And so what we do is, as a method of prevention, to reduce the number of data breaches and lawsuits that are occurring. As we know that cyber attacks are on the headlines every day, it's become so apparent that what we've done here as Cybersecurity Auditors is we're looking at the granular hidden security risks within the company that actually allow those attacks to happen. So the real reason why we do this is because we know our work can stabilize and secure the network, which ultimately saves money and improves the lives of the people who work there.
Excellent. Well, thanks for being on. And Gary Melling is president and CEO at Acquired Insights Inc. Thanks very much for being here, Gary. And same thing, if you can give us a bit of a rundown about your background and your organization.
Thank you, Marc. A real pleasure to be here. Yes, Acquired Insights was founded 5 years ago, partner in Western Canada, Tracy Feber, and together we've co-founded Acquired Insights. We basically think of our offerings really as sort of a 4-legged stool. Like Elizabeth, we do work in cybersecurity, global partners of Trace. We also work in the space. We just launched a new tool with a partner in Germany that takes the as-is assessment of SAP implementations, which typically take anywhere from 1 year and cost anywhere about $1 to $7 million. We bring those down to an assessment that can be done in 1 day, costs less than $100,000. And basically what it does is it allows businesses that are using SAP to get a deep dive audit their footprint, from there to engage more quickly and technical transformation projects, and they realize the value of projects much faster. So that's predominantly what we do. We're built. Our foundation was built on artificial intelligence learning, and we've done a fair bit of work in healthcare, financial services.
Terrific. Well, thanks very much for being on, Gary. Next up is Gwen Mdinaradze, is president and CEO of Speakers Alliance Canada. Welcome, Gwen, and nice to have you here. And perhaps you can give people an idea as to what Speakers Alliance Canada is and about your role there as well.
Thank you so much, Marc. It is an honor to be here. I'm the president and CEO of Speakers Alliance Canada. It is an international speaking and consulting company. We represent select professional speakers and business consultants from Canada, from the United States, and from the United Kingdom. And some of them are Harvard Business School professors. Some of them are very well-known business consultants. We also represent a former senior advisor to President Barack Obama in leadership. So these people, these professionals, speak about various topics from mental health and resilience to change management sales strategies, and many other topics. Because of the pandemic, we moved online and we work virtually. So they offer those services virtually from their professionally built home studios. And I'm also a guest lecturer and researcher, and my research area is disruptive and sustaining innovation. And I follow Harvard Business School professor Clayton Christensen's research. So this is all about Speakers Alliance. My team works remotely. They are international professionals. Not all of them are based in Canada. So we really are an international company and offer our services worldwide.
Excellent. Well, thanks for that, Gwen. And we're going to talk a little bit more, I'm sure, as we go along here as well.
Sure.
And Mikele Brack is president and founder of Urban Living Futures, Inc. Thanks, Mikele, for being here. And perhaps the same thing, if you can give people an idea as to what you do and about your business and yourself. And you're on mute, by the way, Mikele.
Apologies.
There
Thank
you go.
You so much for the invitation to join the panel today. So my company, Urban Living Futures, we created the Uplift Innovation Management Platform. It is based on a series of processes that we developed when we were designing and delivering innovation programs for our customers pre-pandemic. And when we got into the pandemic environment, we realized that we were not going to be having face-to-face workshops and integration with our customers and with the innovators that would be showcasing their technologies. So we developed a digital platform that would allow our customers to manage their innovation processes themselves. The Uplift platform, it's a digital marketplace where innovators and city makers, industry players, academia, and investors come together to showcase opportunities and to create an innovation ecosystem where they can all interact in order to accelerate the impact of innovation.
Perfect. Well, thanks very much for the update, and I'm sure we'll come back around to talk about that as well, because it's as we move into a digital era, it's probably a good timing, right? So for that, so if you have any questions for anybody on the panel, feel free to put them in the stage or in the event chat, and we'll get back. I will moderate the questions as well. So maybe coming back to you, Elizabeth. The last year, 16 months has changed the way business has taken place. What have you done? I mean, obviously from a networking and hacking, there's been more information in the news lately. What have you seen? What can businesses do also to protect themselves, perhaps? And you're on mute also, Elizabeth. You're on mute. Yeah. Still on mute. There you go.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, absolutely. For an IT auditing perspective, our business has primarily always been just like financial auditors. We're in the office and we're talking to users and being hands on the keyboard. But certainly the past couple of years, we've turned ourselves into the virtual IT auditors, and it has actually been fantastic and so relieving for the businesses in which we've been able to audit, because there have been the work from home issues where their staff have been at home and not knowing what's going on. Are they secure? What are the activities that are going on? What weaknesses and vulnerabilities? Why are they able to or not able to do certain things? So we've been able to, through our own platform and our technologies experiences as well, we've been able to help and support their staff working from home, where even with their own internal IT department, it's just not feasible for them to be able to go from home to home to home to resolve their help desk issues. So even from, we were IT auditor coming in as IT auditors / help desk / remediation, and being able to support them, just because we have the technical background, we know and we're able to help their staff at the same time. So the pandemic has been really revealing, and we have all been helping each other. There's no more frustration. It's just been a sense of relief to being able to be there and help support each other in during this tough time.
Excellent. And Gary, what's been your biggest challenge or challenges over the last year? And you're on mute also. There you go.
Sorry, I guess it's contagious. As far as the challenges go, I think in some ways, I think what we're seeing with COVID and everything that comes with that, and I won't get into the politics of it, but as an event that affects business from a pure business perspective or from a technology perspective, I think in some ways what we're kind of revisiting for different reasons is what many corporations were facing in the late 90s with Y2K. There was an urgency in place because of somewhat of a deadline, December 31st, 1999, to be compliant with Y2K. And there was a lot of work done in the mid to late 90s to make those corporations aligned around what they perceived was a real threat. I think we're kind of borrowing from that situation in where we are right now. I think it's caused a lot of organizations to really think about reprioritizing what their strategies are, what they're sort of at the operational and tactical level, what they're trying to accomplish. There are things that have been introduced in the business paradigm that make it very difficult to conduct business as they used to conduct business. So being able to present alternative strategies, we're seeing, of course, as Elizabeth mentioned, a lot of work in the cybersecurity field, but we also realize that, you know, if you take a look at recent breaches, whether it's Colonial Pipeline, SolarWinds, et cetera, a lot of times we see that the breaches and the reluctance for business leaders to move is because they're paralyzed. They really don't know what to do. And so often what they really need is a third party, someone who is agnostic, someone who's not trying to push a product, not trying to sell a solution. For example, the way we look at SAP for the audits, we don't align it with any other vendors, any third parties or anything. This is purely almost like a Gartner group, an objective assessment. And I think that's what organizations are clamoring for. So we're seeing, we're marketing by using both a shotgun and a rifle approach. So we have the scatter, we're using social media like LinkedIn. Both Tracy, my partner, and I each have 30,000 first level LinkedIn connections. We've been in that. We're constantly, you know, culling and refreshing and so on. And the opportunity to work with organizations, we can send out broadcast messaging, but then of course we have the opportunity to address these executives one at a time. What we're hearing from many of them is that there's almost a state of paralysis. They really almost don't know what to do. So when you can come to the table with a clear solution, when you have calmness in your approach, when you give them the feeling that, because you obviously have the pedigree and the experience to do so, but when you can give them that sense of calmness, and basically what we're selling is a good night's sleep.
Excellent. Great insight. I'm joined on the panel as Elizabeth Wu is president at Cybersecurity Auditors, Gary Melling is president and CEO at Acquired Insights, Inc., Mikele Brack is president and founder Urban Living Futures, Inc., and Gwen Mdinaradze is president and CEO of Speakers Alliance Canada. My name is Marc Belaiche, president of TorontoJobs.ca and TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca. So Gwen, maybe we could talk to you. Some companies have benefited, some organizations have benefited from COVID, others have been hard hit, others are kind of indifferent, the business is normal in certain respects, but most companies have been hit in one way or another. Is there something that COVID has helped your organization in any way? Maybe something that's exposed an opportunity, or maybe something that you've done that has been better for you that maybe others can benefit from that?
Sure. Well, COVID-19 had a great impact on Speakers Alliance Canada because all our services, all our speaker services and business consultants, coaching, training sessions, keynote presentations, everything was done in person before the COVID-19. But after the pandemic, I had to find ways to move everything online and to do everything virtually. Of course, it was a challenge at the beginning, but good news is we did it in a timely manner. We moved everything online. I was actively involved in the processes. I was helping our speakers and business consultants to build their home studios professionally and to lead more interactive and engaged virtual events, training sessions, coaching sessions, and keynote presentations. So we moved everything online, and my team started to work remotely. I wanted to show encouragement to our speakers and business consultants. So we started to reach out to different marketing and sales companies worldwide, because it is quite costly in North America to update website or logo or do other marketing work. So our collaborative partners now offering only for speakers and business consultants, they are offering marketing services at a very low cost, and many of them found it very beneficial, as during this pandemic they updated their websites, they changed logo, they are working on their social media content, so they found it very beneficial. And we also are helping other companies and business professionals who are working remotely to improve their home studios, and so at the end of the training we also issue a certificate. So it was kind of helping hand for fellow business professionals. And basically what we did was we changed management, we changed everything, and now working remotely. And I would say when everything goes back to normal, I'm not going to go back to the office, as I built my home studio. I have everything I need to work remotely, so I'm going to stay home and work from my home office.
Excellent. Quite a few changes, especially in your industry, hasn't it?
Yes, it was.
And Mikele, how about you? Like changes that have taken place, good, bad, or otherwise, for you, and what you may have learned from them?
Yeah, so as I mentioned in my introduction, we took the opportunity right at the beginning of the pandemic, and it was work that had been planned as kind of a support to the innovation programs that we were designing for our customers. We were using a lot of processes and digital parts of the platform that we eventually created. We were using those for our own purposes, and so we took the time early in the pandemic to switch over to develop a digital platform for our customers to use themselves. And so now we act as more of a support role. We license the platform so that cities and universities and industry customers can adopt the platform, have it white labeled with their own branding, and they can build their own innovation community, launch calls and challenges for the innovation community, and assess the applications and make decisions, make informed and traceable decisions on the innovations that they're going to go forward with. Those were processes that we were using internally anyway, and we switched that over so that it was a public or a customer-facing set of processes integrated so that they could do that themselves. So it was good timing for us to be able to take the time to do that, and now business continues in a different way, but we're continuing on it as a business just as strong as previously.
That's great. Thanks, Mikele. So kind of opening up to anybody on the panel here is just maybe one or two takeaways, something that you have put into place, maybe because you're working from home, maybe with staff, maybe onboarding, that you think other presidents would benefit from this, people watching, other people on the panel, something that you think, oh, this is great. You know what? I'm glad maybe somebody told you and now you've executed, or something you've learned. Anything that you'd like to share with others on the panel or attendees watching? It's open to anybody.
Well, we've just fallen into a really great routine where, I mean, I benefit from having quite a small team. We're all remote, but the whole management team gets on a call every morning at 9:30 just to, review the business of the day, go over any issues, and then everybody, continues and works independently. But because we're all in our home studios, our home offices, we're always available to one another throughout the day. But that morning meeting really, gives everyone, and we're always on video so that we can see each other. So it's like coming into the office and meeting your colleagues and sitting down for a quick meeting before the day starts. And I find that really effective.
That's good. Yeah. Anyone else with some changes?
Yeah, I would say that, because of the pandemic completely changed the way we work, I wanted to somehow motivate and encourage my team members, because they are working remotely, they have families and other commitments. So what I did is, first I asked them, what do you motivate the most? So some of them wanted, extra couple of days for the holidays. Some of them asked, they wanted to take some courses, but they could not. And what I did is, sometimes I send them, we have a virtual dinner together. So sometimes I manage to send them dinner through different channels. So we all have dinner party, Zoom dinner party, and I gave all of them extra holidays so they can overcome the COVID burnout. And one of my team member, who is a business development manager, she was keen to take a course, so we sponsored the course. And now, I felt that it helped her to work more and to increase her motivation level. So that was a few examples what I did during the pandemic to motivate my team.
Excellent. Great. Anyone else with some updates?
Well, what I would just by the way, that was fantastic. What a great idea to do virtual dinners. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
And extra holidays, we could all use great holidays, right? More holidays, never enough. But what I found just on the business development side is because of COVID, there's no more pretentious of, oh, what should I do and how should I say, just reaching out to anybody. And if you think, oh, I'd like to talk to this person, or I'd like to, being able to much more easily reach out to people, having a conversation, because we're just all looking for some sort of human connection. And even if it doesn't pan out to actual business, it's still such a great way of interacting and meeting new people. In our space, it's just, again, around the world, that we're no longer localized to Toronto or Canada, but really we're in South America. We're looking at clients in Europe. So it's really amazing to even just learn. And that's what COVID has brought as a very positive note for us in being able to do that, interact internationally.
Right. Excellent. Gary, you were going to say?
I was just going to say, I mentioned earlier about the similar experience we had in the late 90s with Y2K, and relating that in position to the pandemic. And I guess what's markedly different about the situation we're in now versus then is then we knew there was a deadline. We knew that December 31st, 1999 at 12 o'clock, things were supposed to either work or not work. With this COVID situation, we really don't have any idea how or when we will, if we ever get back to some sense of normalcy. I think the other thing that it's fair to mention is that often the situation we find ourselves in at any given moment in time is not something usually that happened yesterday or the day before. It's what we did 5 years ago and 4 years ago and 3 years ago. It's the discipline that we have every day to do the right thing. And by that, what I mean is the mission, to me, is what matters the most. Tactical things can change. Operational things can change. But when you're really, really focused on your mission, it's so easy to spot a distraction. And I think, unfortunately, there are a lot of folks in business, even in the senior management and the leadership levels, that have not really a clear understanding of what their mission is, either for their role or the role of their business or the role within the business. And then the other thing is that, by practicing the same, what seem to be mundane things every day, that's actually the platform. It's that regularity, it's that frequency that builds the discipline. And I think it's so important to, yes, I mean, things come up overnight and we have to deal with them, but I think by and large, we're products of what we were doing 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. And so if you had clarity of mission then, and you still do, then it becomes very, very clear as far as what you need to do, who you need to access, what you're looking for an outcome in a meeting, what the next step should be, and so on. So I tend to be perhaps a bit more pragmatic that way, looking at things from a mission perspective.
Great, yeah, great advice. So we just have about a minute or so left. Anybody want to add anything to anything that someone has said, or something you want to share? Kind of open to anybody. We want to promote something. Everybody wants to promote something, right? So is there anything you want to mention? Elizabeth?
Oh, sorry. No, I was just
it's open to anybody, but go ahead if there's something.
Well, you know what, we're all, I think, as to Gary's point about mission, we also could speak about how we all want to change the world and how we all want to do something outside of ourselves. So our contribution towards the world is to reducing the number of cyber attacks, and having the number of cyber attacks are going up 15% a year. It's a $6 trillion industry. So every day we see headlines of this data breach, that a company's been attacked. And what we're doing is we are trying to prevent that. A lot of the IT solutions that are out there that companies are buying into are all reactive, and we are preventative. We are completely on a granular, back to basics of rudimentary activities in the IT space that, unfortunately, a lot of the IT departments, I'm not pointing fingers, and it's not necessarily their issues or their fault, but a lot of those fundamental activities are not getting done. And you can just, the headline of having Cisco, for example, last year when they were breached, Cisco is an IT company, 95% of their staff are IT. And yet their data breach was back to basics of not installing their software patches, cost them $3 billion. So if you think, if Cisco as an IT company is not doing the basic fundamental work and they got hacked, which ended up costing them $3 billion, what is your company doing or not doing? And that's all it is. Our IT audits are very efficient, and it requires zero time on anybody's. It's not a distraction. We come in there, we're able to do all the work, provide analysis and reporting, and we also measure against global industry standards, which is called CIS controls. So it's the Center for Internet Security. So everything from a CEO's perspective isn't mumbo jumbo, but it's actually measurable to say, what is my people doing and are my secure? And we can provide measurement to that.
Man, that's great. That's good, great information. So we're out of time. I want to thank everybody for coming to the Canadian Virtual Presidents Conference. Today's event presented by TorontoJobs.ca and powered by Event Logic with a K.ca. Again, my name is Marc Belaiche. I'm president of TorontoJobs.ca and TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca. The panel has been Elizabeth Wu, president at Cybersecurity Auditors, Gary Melling, president and CEO at Acquired Insights, Inc., Mikele Brack, president and founder at Urban Living Futures, Inc., and Gwen Mdinaradze is president and CEO of Speakers Alliance Canada. And I want to thank all of you for being here as well. I also want to thank all the other speakers that were here today at today's event, preparation time, organization, and so on. So a lot of information goes into preparing for today's event as well. And I also want to thank the team too. A lot of people behind the scenes, Alex, Rachel, Sandra, Sarah, and Carla, and more. So I want to thank you for helping out and putting this whole event together. As far as our sponsors and exhibitors go, TorontoJobs.ca, if you have any staffing needs, you can certainly reach out to us at sales@TorontoJobs.ca. And TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca, business owners looking to network and check out upcoming events, visit the website, TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca. And Event Logic with a K.ca. If there's an event that you'd like to be part of, sponsor, exhibit, and so on, you're welcome to join. Now, we do have a number of upcoming virtual events that may be of interest to you, and I will put them in the chat here as well in the event side. we have the Canadian Virtual Sell Your Business Conference that happens on Tuesday, July 27th. The next Toronto Entrepreneurs Virtual Conference happens on Thursday, August 19th, and the Canadian Virtual Presidents Conference, the next edition of it, will be on Thursday, September 23rd. So if you want to make a note of that, you can also check out eventlogicwithak.ca for all the other upcoming events that we have ongoing as well. Lots of great events coming up. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channels. There's literally hundreds of videos there. You can subscribe to it. You can check out a number of links, and also check out the Linktree account for TorontoJobs.ca, as well as the Linktree for TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca. Lots of great links, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, that you can connect with as well. And you can also connect with me on LinkedIn as well. I'm putting my LinkedIn link into the chat. And we do add on just another 10 minutes that you can connect with through the networking area. You can also visit the expo area. We tack on another 10 minutes for you to do that. Again, I want to thank all the panelists, all of each of you, and the speakers from today's event. Look forward to seeing you at the next event as well. And if there's anything I can help you out with, please don't hesitate to reach out as well. So thanks very much, and all the best.
Thanks, Marc.
Thank you, Marc.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.